guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, Jay Mill. Jay Miller, if you like. So let's get into it. So before we get into today's episode, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're at 57 subscribers, and we will give something away once we get to 100, just like we did once we got to 50. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So, all right, now to get into it. So, Cowboys, I feel like, are pretty much finished up in free agency. I think their most high-profile signing was Dante Fowler. The Paris Campbell signing a couple days ago, that's neither here nor there, honestly. Paris Campbell is not going to move the needle for the Cowboys, nor is Paris Campbell going to prevent the Cowboys from taking a wide receiver in this upcoming draft. But they did sign Paris Campbell. But I think their most high-profile signing is Dante Fowler. And then besides Dante Fowler, I also like the Solomon Thomas signing and the Jack Sanborn signing. I even like the Elam trade from the Buffalo Bills. And I think I talked about this a little bit, but just to get into it a little bit more. So depending on who you listen to, right, some people see it as the Cowboys improving, their bottom half of their roster. Some see it improving the middle part of their roster. I'll take the middle approach. They improved the overall roster, right? You figure between last year and this year, you lost some pass rush between injury and Dante Fowler. And even with that loss of pass rush, the Cowboys still ranked in the top 3 in sacks and pressure rate at the last 10 weeks of the season. So once Micah Parsons came back, he made that engine go. And I expect with Dante Fowler there now to pair with him, and then a healthy Marshawn Nealon, a healthy Sam Williams. Osa is always healthy. He doesn't miss games. You got Solomon Thomas as his backup. Mozzie's not much of a pass rusher there, so I don't expect much in that aspect. But if the Cowboys either draft someone or add someone to the middle of that defense, that might make it even more palatable as far as, hey, now we've got something cooking. But even if they don't add via free agency and they only add during the draft, the Cowboys' pass rush is going to be dangerous this year. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback. So now it's just getting yourself into third and longs, because any third and long will make most cornerbacks better, right? You'll have Deron Bland there, who should be a pretty good quarterback. Kalen Carson, even though he wasn't all that awesome last year, you got to expect that he's going to take a step in year 2. I don't know how much you should be banking on that. Someone like Kyer Elam, and then also most likely a draft pick at that position would kind of help you feel a little bit better going into the season. So I'd like to see some of that. Of course, they got Javonte Williams and they got Miles Sanders back there. But truth be told, I would like to see them add an early running back. I know some of the mocks have been mocking Amarian Hampton to the Cowboys. I am all about that. I'm cool with that. I think I told you that on the last episode before. I know a lot of people were saying, things about Hampton that make it seem like he's not an awesome prospect. He has 4.5 speed, so I know as far as breakaway is concerned, nobody should be concerned with that. 4.45 speed. And then on top of that, I don't know if maybe I'm just watching the guy a little bit wrong, but at Carolina, I see a workhorse. I see a guy that can be a home run hitter. He's fast. Listen, Ezekiel Elliott was scoring 50 and 60-yard touchdown runs his initial season. And I know you're going to say to me, yeah, we had Travis Frederick. Yeah, we had Zach Martin. Yeah, we had Tyron Smith. And I agree with you 1,000% on that. But offensive lines can create creases, right? You don't need necessarily 2 Hall of Fame players and 1 All-Pro to create holes in the running game. That happens all the time in the NFL, even with below-average offensive lines. And so what I'm saying is I feel like Amarian Hampton is a game breaker. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can pass protect. He can run in between the tackles and run for power. But when he sees a crease and gets to the open speed, he opens the field, he has breakaway speed. I see a lot of people having their running backs as You know, uh, uh, they have it as Ashton Genty, which I agree with 100%. He's the number one guy. And then some people have Caleb Johnson up there. Some people have not Abuka, Travion Henderson. Abuka's the wide receiver from Ohio State. But the running back as well from Texas there. They have or Ohio State. They have those guys ahead. Some people have them ahead of Hampton out of North Carolina. But I personally have Hampton as my number two running back, and he has basically become my pet cat for this draft. Like, I would love the Cowboys to come away with Hampton. Unfortunately, I don't think they're gonna, because even though everybody's mocking to them at 12, I can't see them spending a pick that high on Hampton, depending on who's on the board, right? The Cowboys love drafting plug and play offensive linemen. There's a good offensive lineman that could be on the board. The Cowboys also have needs at wide receiver, and you could run it into a chance where Matthew Golden is there, and Tedderone McMillan is there, and LB3 is there, Luther Burden III, and now all of a sudden the Cowboys have their option of who they want to pick up, to add some explosiveness to the offense in that way. And then because of that, you also have the running back situation, which stretches well beyond, the first 3 rounds this year. Running back class is very, very strong. So someone like Taj Brooks, who's also a nice explosive player out of Texas Tech, could be someone for the Cowboys in the second or third round. Same thing with Travion Henderson. He could be a person in the second or third round. I personally don't like Caleb Johnson. I think Caleb Johnson should be off the Cowboys board. I don't think he's explosive enough of a runner to be different than Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. I think he's actually more of the same. I do think he can carry the load, but the dude runs very upright. He runs very upright. I love his feet, right? When it comes to running backs, that's what I watch a lot, because they have a lot of guys falling around their feet, reaching at their feet, and in order to get to and through the hole in the NFL, sometimes it doesn't necessarily take exaggerated movement. A lot of times it takes very subtle change of direction and very good foot quickness and very good footwork. And that is one of the things Caleb Johnson, I could say, is a compliment in his game. But I hate his upright running style. I hate the forward leaning of the running style. I really think he's going to have a problem at the next level, especially not being a guy who's explosive at all. To me, Caleb Johnson is, and I haven't been doing this forever, y'all. So if y'all don't like what I'm saying, leave a comment below. Hit me up. Let me know on Twitter. But Caleb Johnson, to me, is like, out of all these running backs, this dude's like a day 3 guy. He is your thumper, your short yardage back, your goal line back, which is also very valuable in the NFL. But for people to try to sell me that he's a second round pick or a first round pick, I don't see it. I think if I had to put him on my running back list, I'd put him behind so many other guys. He probably would be in that 15 to 20 range for me, right around where like Scatterbull is. So I don't want the Cowboys spending an early pick on him. He does not provide what their offensive lacks. Actually, matter of fact, I think a less complete running back than Caleb Johnson, as far as, a guy that be a thumper, a short yardage guy. This guy doesn't do any of that, but Blue from Texas will provide something that the Cowboys do not have in their backfield at all, which is juice, explosiveness, the ability to make the big play, the ability to make a short play turning to a home run. So it's all about roster construction, right? If you want to tell me that you think Caleb Johnson is a better player than Blue, I'm willing to listen to that and maybe even concede that. But when you talk about the makeup of the Cowboys roster, if you're trying to turn this roster around and do something that we haven't been able to do, you need to construct the roster in a purposeful way. And getting a running back that's just another big, lumbering guy when Caleb Johnson gets into the open field, he's going to be able to do nothing for you at the NFL level. Like, unless Caleb Johnson is Derrick Henry, right? So unless he puts on another 20 pounds but doesn't lose any athleticism. That's the only way I see this guy turning into something a little bit different. With Hampton could come in right now and be a 1,500-yard back for you right now. And I'm maybe not in 1,500 yards rushing, but a 1,500-yard back for you right now. So I'd like to see the Cowboys add something that they don't have in their running back room within the first 3 picks. I'd love to see them add a receiver as well within the first 3 picks. And then after that, all bets are off. I'm cool with anybody. If you want to take a quarterback in the 3rd round, if you want to take a defensive tackle in the 3rd round, if you want to take a corner, a safety, linebacker, I feel like anything else you could do would be good to go. And honestly, maybe that's why they've constructed the roster the way they have going into the draft, is so that they can do that in the first 3 rounds, right? Gentry doesn't fall to them. They feel it's too rich for Hampton. Okay, we take Tetaroa, and then, okay, in the 2nd round it falls and Harmon's sitting there. You know what? We're going to take that defensive tackle. In the 3rd round, look at Travion Henderson made it to us. Let's go. Let's take that, running back. I just want the Cowboys to be very smart, because basically in the positions that they need, there is a lot of talent there. And honestly, because they need so many positions, they can't go wrong as long as they just basically take the most talented player available, regardless of position, every single round. And that includes quarterback, because Dak Prescott isn't going to be here forever. But thank you guys. That's all I got for you for now. Next episode, we're going to look out for a mock draft. I'm going to do my 2nd mock draft. We're about to be in draft month. April is the month of the draft. So, basically 1 month out, we'll get a nice mock draft in, and we'll use trades this time and all that good stuff to see what we can come up with. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter at JMillerIYL. That's JMiller if you like. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@gmail.com. If you have any questions, any comments, you can leave them below. I'll take them here. I'll take them via email. I'll take them from Twitter. Roll it into a mailbag. Make it a formal segment. But like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. But until next time, I'm your host, J Mill if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace.